What's going on in YouTube? Today I got a video for y'all. So if y'all don't know, right now the MAGA party are losing their fucking minds. They're losing their fucking minds right now. It looks like they're having a war. They beefing out there. Shit getting serious out there. So if you don't know, Ted Cruz went on a rant because he's basically a Jew and he feels like he's under attack due to, Candace Owens, the whole Charlie Kirk situation, the whole, the Jews, and it's been a whole nasty thing. Even though, let's be honest, bro, your people are doing a lot of insane shit. So, I'm not saying that he deserves, whoa, I don't want it to get confused. I don't want him to be like, whoa, not on some, not on some Hitler, not on some Nazi Germany type, but y'all are doing some crazy shit, but y'all don't deserve, you don't deserve that still. But, again, a lot of Gen Z are turning on people like Ted Cruz and a lot of people that are in that sphere or group of people that make content like that. Now, a lot of the younger Gen Z people are coming after them and saying, hey, we're not really liking this. We don't really like you. We don't really fuck with you guys. You guys are taking up all the opportunity. America's giving you all this money. They feel like y'all are a waste of time. Why are we even invested in your war in the first place? That's how a lot of them feel right now. And I would say this has been going on for a while. Like, they've been having this civil war between, the side where the Republicans that, mess with Jews and the other side that don't mess with Jews. They've kind of always been in a conflict. This isn't the first time that this has happened, but it's happening more than often right now.
You are so blinded by your ridiculous, insane hatred of Tucker Carlson that you cannot see how irresponsible and hypocritical you are being. I mean, these tweets from Ted Cruz, I'm going to read you next, are a great example of this. So just a month ago, he tweeted this. He said, "They don't kill you because you're a Nazi. They call you a Nazi so they can kill you. Political violence is a left-wing phenomenon. Enough is enough. We need to shut it down." And then in response to Fuentes and Tucker this week, he tweeted this. "Trump's bombing of the Ayatollah's nuclear facilities made the little Nazi mad. Good." So now you're turning around and you're calling somebody that you don't like a Nazi. You're doing this out of blind rage because you're so angry that the conservative base's attitudes are rapidly changing, that Nick Fuentes is getting national attention, and so you have turned around and in response, you are compromising your own values in anger, which is such a dangerous precedent to set. And unfortunately for you guys, yes, the attitudes are changing, so again, it makes sense why this group is incredibly frantic.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, she did say some real shit about y'all. Now, at the same time, is she supporting a literal person that supports Nazis? Yes, but at the same time, America is supporting Israel. Do I like the angle that they're actually taking it? Not really, honestly, because it's like they're both, honestly, both the way how they're tackling said issue is also another form of bigotry, but that's for a whole nother conversation within itself. Now, a lot of MAGA are mad that this is happening. Me personally, I think it's great that Mr. Fuentes is now at the forefront of MAGA. I love it. I actually love Nick Fuentes. I love that he is as just ignorant and just insufferable and just destructive as he can be, because he really is the voice of MAGA. He's the voice of white America. And this isn't about Gen Z. This is about white America. This has nothing. And that's another thing. I always got pissed off with the whole Gen Z thing, because it's like when people talk about Gen Z, it's like, what are we speaking about? Are we speaking about Gen Z middle upper class? Are we speaking about suburban Gen Z? Are we speaking about white snobby? Are we talking about, Nepo baby Gen Z? Like, what Gen Z? Because I don't really categorize things in generations, because we all have different experiences. Like, for instance, me, I got friends too. Like, we all work. Most of the people my age work. So, like, we work, we go to work, we have jobs, we pay taxes. We do, we contribute to fucking society. So, like, when I see people, like, do the whole, like, oh, Gen Z are lazy, like, what Gen Z are you speaking about? Are you speaking about your Gen Z, or are you speaking about, Gen Z as a literal whole? Like, I always don't like this. But, again, white nationalist Gen Z, they're not feeling the old white nationalists that are supporting Israel, which is rightfully so. They feel like, they're getting hoed out. I feel like a lot of these Israel people are taking up opportunities, taking up space. They don't want to give them money. Why are we fighting their wars? Why are we fighting their battles? Fuck them. And we can't say nothing about them. Anytime you say anything about them, we get we get ridiculed, we get deplatformed, all types of things happen. And it does happen. So Nick Fuentes right now is the voice of reason. But we all knew this day was gonna come. Even Ben Shapiro on his little podcast, he was crying like a little bitch about Nick Fuentes.
Fragmentation of the political right. That fragmentation is being caused purposefully by a splinter faction of people led by a young man named Nick Fuentes. They call themselves the Groypers. They are white supremacists. They hate women, Jews, Hindus, many types of Christians, brown people of a wide variety of backgrounds, blacks, America's foreign policy, and America's Constitution. They admire Hitler and Stalin. And that splinter faction is now being facilitated and normalized within the mainstream Republican Party. The main agent in that normalization is Tucker Carlson, who is an intellectual coward, a dishonest interlocutor, and a terrible friend. And Tucker Carlson last week was aided, abetted, celebrated for normalizing Nazism within the Republican Party by the mainstay organization of the traditional right, the Heritage Foundation. Now, before we explain what's been happening, let's make one thing clear. This is not about free speech or cancellation. It was never about free speech or cancellation. Free speech has a definition: the right to speak free of governmental coercion. I believe in it, of course. I've always defended it. Criticism of bad speech is, in fact, just a form of free speech. Cancellation also has a definition: the banning of particular people, including people like Nick Fuentes, from platforms like X or Facebook. I believe that Nick Fuentes is odious and despicable, but I've never called for his cancellation. And in fact, I've called for his restoration to those services, despite the fact that I think he's odious and despicable. It is not cancellation to draw moral lines between viewpoints. In fact, we used to.
Now, basically, everybody's beef is that Tucker Carlson had Nick Fuentes on his show, and just the fact that he gave him a platform, a person who's a Nazi, which is you technically mad that you had him up there. So it's not, you do actually have a problem with freedom of speech. And based on what's going on, that is a freedom of speech, because you said a lot of negative things about other people's cultures, and you shitted on people's cultures. You shitted on black people multiple times. Nobody asked you for your fucking opinion. And now it's a problem that the same group of people, and mind you didn't see that as, you seen it as, oh, we're telling them that we think that this is ignorant or this, that, and the third, when, like, who the fuck are you? Like, so it's like, then it's really just one of those things where I'm like, you contradicted yourself just in that space. Like, you've already said all you can say about, you said things about immigrants or the whole fucking nine. Like, so like, you crying and complaining about him having Tucker Carlson up there is insane. Plus, we have to stop doing this whole thing like Republicans are new to like the whole Nazi thing. That's not true. A lot of white America supports Nazis. I know I've worked with people that were like full blown, like they was like, yeah, my father, he's heavily into Nazi support. He's not even German. He just loves a lot of Nazi gear. Like, I've gone to places, I've been in Pennsylvania, like real like white areas where I've seen people just casually wear like Nazi, like, like Nazi symbols and the whole nine. Like, a lot of people in the white community do really there are a good amount of them that do really support Nazis. Like, you will be surprised. You will be fucking surprised. But again, this is the group you aligned yourself with. Now you're crying about Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson only put Nick Fuentes on there because he is up and coming and he is saying what he's saying about Jews. Now, I'm scared to put any clips of Nick Fuentes, so go watch his clips on your own. But I like that Nick Fuentes is being as disruptive as he is, and he's bothering people. He's also bothering other groups of Uncle Toms, such as Officer Tatum. And I wouldn't say he's really waking up. A lot of people are saying, oh, he's getting his wake-up call. But this is now you defending yourself because you are being attacked and being kicked out of a community that you have longed for and, have been on your knees, double twisting your hands for as long as I can fucking remember. I don't know how long. I'm pretty sure, like, Officer Tatum's been dick-eating MAGA for as long as he's been on this planet. So now that group is quote-unquote turning on him, even though they're really not, I feel like Nick Fuentes has now given everybody the right to really own their racism and not be quote-unquote afraid of their racism, even though, let's be honest, the consequences for being racist isn't really that heavy of a consequence, mainly, most of the time. Most people that are racist don't get kicked off college campuses. Like, it happens rarely, sometimes on the internet, but it's not something that's a daily occurrence. There's a lot of people that are openly racist and they still have their jobs and they still have their fucking dignity. I mean, somewhat of a dignity. I don't know. I low key just think if you're racist, you're slow. But but yeah. So now he's turning a whole new tune now that he's getting put against the wall. No, that he's getting pinned against the wall by Mr. Fuentes.
Black people should be in prison. Well, let's look at the stats. Black people commit about 6,000 murders a year. 98% of it is against other black people. That's 6,000 murderers. There's 40 million black people that live in America. The overwhelming majority of black people are not murdering anybody. The chance of you getting struck by lightning is probably more than getting murdered by a black man. It's concentrated areas of poverty and violence. That white crime and poverty go together like black crime and poverty. The only difference is gang-related violence, which make black people go up another notch. Right. But when you talk about abandoning children, meaning fatherless homes, when you talk about people using violence, killing each other, stabbing each other, robbing, stealing. White people had the same rate of some of this stuff as when I grew up. White neighborhoods are still places you don't want to live. The poor, impoverished white neighborhoods. People that don't understand that because they never actually patrolled and lived anywhere other than some little small area where they only had negative experiences with black people. They really don't understand the totality of what we're really looking at here.
Now, y'all don't be fooled by this. I ain't gonna lie. When I seen this on IG, I thought this was fucking AI. I thought nigga ChatGPT, Soros got better. I don't know what the fuck. When I seen it, I was like, nigga, Soros doing his job over there. What the fuck? So yeah, basically that's not what it is. When I seen it on IG, this is 100% real. This is actually coming out of his mouth. And do I believe that a lot of conservatives that are in a certain space or group or ethnic group, they will be challenged? People will start really throwing haymakers at them. And a lot of these white people are going to draw the line in the sand, so whiteness comes first, which it always has been, and they're going to throw y'all in the back seat. Now, what's going to happen is Nick Fuentes is going to now push it further than it's always been, and he's going to not say go back to old America, because this was always America's identity. The thing is, he's now saying it proudly, going on platforms and spewing the reality of what it's always meant to be a quote unquote groiper, which is insane. Calling yourself a groiper, I don't even know what that sounds wrong. It sounds like another word, and that's crazy that you would want to associate your group with that word. But I'm not surprised. Again, MAGA, Donald Trump has surrounded himself with a lot of men that have weird cases. He's also said a lot of weird things, so it doesn't surprise me that these are the type of people that are all in conglomerates with each other. So it will make you remind yourself that you are black, no matter how you feel about yourself, no matter your views on interracial marriage, no matter if you're married to a white wife. Nothing will save you. Nothing will save you for what's about to come, because America's going to make a really dark turn in the next couple of months, and I already see where it's going. And I love that, I love that Nick Fuentes is being himself. He's being real about it. He's owning his shit. Like, he's not trying to hide behind statistics. He's not trying to use all types of little buzzwords to deflect. He's being open about his racism. And he is what white America wants. It's not what Gen Z wants. Gen Z was raised in a household. Most of those white Gen Z kids you see, they were raised in a household with people that are racist. Racism is passed down from generation to generation. It is a taught and learned societal thing that is deep within America, deep within Europe, deep within just our history. So this whole thing is just a bunch of people. Now, I wouldn't say it's them getting their wake-up call, but it's them definitely having their backs against the wall, and now they have to either, because what it's gonna get to a point where the right aren't going to pay any attention to Tatum, and Tatum knows that. They're not going to give a fuck about him. His time is done. He was the sacrificial lamb of the coon to make them say, hey, look, we got a black guy that's supporting us. Hey, you can't say we're racist. We got a black. Now there's like, no, it doesn't matter. Now we don't need a black guy supporting us. Matter of fact, we don't need any Indians, any Cuban raccoons. We don't need any raccoons to support us. All we need is Nick Fuentes. And then guess what? Nick Fuentes himself, he's going to meet somebody that's way more racist, that's way more white, because Nick Fuentes is Mexican. A part of him is Mexican, and he do look Mexican. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Nick Fuentes, dude. Yo, you know what's crazy? I was thinking that when I seen him the first time. I was like, yo, he kind of looks Spanish. Like, he look kind of like, I was, like, he's Mexican. So it's gonna get to a point where even Nick Fuentes might get kicked out the group himself because he's not really 100% white. And you know how Europeans get about their DNA. So there's gonna be another white guy. He's probably gonna have blonde hair, blue eyes. He's gonna be the epitome of white America politics. He's gonna be as more Christian as can be. He's not gonna be gay like Nick Fuentes. He's actually gonna be a straight male. I mean, and he's really going to live in the hate. And he's gonna, it goes on, it goes on. The baton gets passed down. The baton gets passed down. The next guy, and he's probably going to be way more, quote unquote, worse than him, and so on and so on and so on. America's going back. It's reverting back to, I wouldn't say it was always dead. It was always there. It was always ingrained within our culture. Just like I said, like a lot of rock stars, a lot of rock bands would wear like, Nazi symbols, which is insane. Metal bands. A lot of people, like, again, like I said, like I've been to some white areas where I would just casually just see them wear like Nazi shirts and stuff like that, which I find is very odd. But, it is what it is. This is a part of their culture. They're going to go towards a Nick Fuentes because Nick Fuentes is really the identity of America. No matter how you feel about it, no matter how you want to cry about it, he is what the reality of America is right now. I can't play any clip for y'all about him. Go look that up on your own. I don't want my channel getting nuked. I don't really like speaking about Nick Fuentes because I did before, and I posted a clip. Even though I fucking like muted the words out, they still was like, fuck you. And then it was about to delete my channel, my old channel. I'm not sacrificing my channel for Nick Fuentes, but that's what I have to say for today. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you on the next YouTube video. Peace.